up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Driving with Randy. I am your host, Road Rage Randy. For those of you that have never tuned into the podcast, I'd like to welcome you guys with open arms. Come hop in my van. I have some candy. Take a seat in the back. Ride passenger. How are you guys doing? For those of you that don't know, this is my podcast where I hop into my minivan. It's a 2007 Toyota Sienna. It's absolutely filthy right now. I haven't had a chance to clean the inside. I haven't had a chance to clean the outside. The windshield wipers suck. The windshield wipers are god-awful. Absolutely terrible. But welcome aboard. I promise we'll make it to your next destination safely. God, now I'm sounding like a taxi or an Uber driver. That's not who I am. I am just, you guys are along for the ride. Welcome aboard. We got some updates. We got some nonsense about the future. Pretty much what we're going to do is I'm just going to talk about the future of the podcast. But first, we're going to give a weather report. We're currently heading north on this road at 50 miles an hour, but there's a sign that says 55, so let's hit the gas. There we go, up to 55. It's my watch says 1 degrees, the van says 2 degrees. What's the difference? It's 1 degree, that's the difference. I just answered my own question. It's cold as balls out. If you can see your own breath when I'm in my van, yeah, I don't use the heat. I don't use the air too much. I just like it nice and simple. I heat up my car. I let it warm up. I get going. And that's that. I mean, once we're on the road, we're on the road. We're going to update you on the current state of the podcast as well as future updates. So the current state of the podcast is we have 11 5-star reviews. Am I just that fucking popular or what? I think I'm popular. And let me put it this way. I advertise my podcast on Reddit. So if anybody is from Reddit that's over on the podcast, welcome aboard, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for checking out my post. But I had somebody reply this week, and it said, "Why is Tony Ferguson following you on Twitter?" For those of you that don't know who Tony Ferguson is, he's my favorite UFC fighter. Absolute beast. He has a fight scheduled against Khabib Nurmagomedov, which I also very much like. That's why the matchup is so intriguing to me. I love lightweight fights just because that's my weight class. That's what I weigh. If I were a fighter, that's what I'd fight at. Am I a fighter? No, I'd cry when I cut my finger, get a little paper cut. I tear up, but I also don't have an adrenaline dump. If I'm getting an adrenaline dump flipping pages and I get a paper cut, I don't think it's going to matter. But I mean, that's just not the case. But anyways, he said, "Why does Tony Ferguson follow you on Twitter? Like me, like Mr. 207 followers on Twitter. Why is he following you?" Well, to answer your question, sir, it's because he likes the podcast. No, I have no fucking clue. He's never heard my podcast. Well, the truth to the matter is, one day he was tweeting some straight fire, and I absolutely love the guy, so I tweeted at him. I said, "I want to go to bed, but Tony Ferguson's just tweeting straight fire." You know what I woke up to? I woke up to a picture of a fucking tanning bed. Why? I don't know. I don't know what that even means, but I saved the tweet because I find it hilarious. He didn't give any context. He just tweeted at me with a tanning bed, and then he dropped me a follow. Imagine waking up to one of your favorite fighters, your favorite singer, whoever it is, follows you. Heck, I get excited when people like my tweet. I'm a big fan of the podcast, The King and the Sting. Theo Von, Brendan Schwab, The King and the Sting. They be liking my post. Heck, I got a hard on when I think it was Brendan Schaub's dad liked one of my posts. Like, damn! It's his fucking dad. I don't know his dad. You think I know his dad? No, I don't know him. But they just get excited over that. A little excitement. anyways, that's where I advertise my podcast. Anyway, so the podcast. You guys know my major goal for 1 year of podcasting, which will be April 1st, so we still have a couple months. My long-term, or my 1 year goal was 1,000 downloads. I think that's absolutely spectacular that as of this morning, I'm at 1,632 downloads. I think that's amazing. I've had 1,623 people. Now, they're not individual people, obviously. You know, I know some of you guys are big fans. But it's like, I like kind of, I put in some work and I'm seeing results. I mean, most of my podcasts are getting 20 listens within a week. I think that's absolutely spectacular with little to no advertising. Now, we're going to continue this method for the year. So up until April, I'm going to be doing the low advertising, just word of mouth type deal. And I think come December here, I said April, but I think come December January of 2020, I think I'm going to continue with the 2 podcasts a week. But I'm looking into audio equipment update. Right now I'm using my phone, and I'm just proving that you can start a podcast from your phone. I mean, it's kind of been like, just do it for fun. I think I might invest in some audio equipment. I've been looking at the Zoom H1N, which runs around $80 bucks. Again, audio splitter and 2 mics. I haven't had too many guests on, but I think the audio splitter with a second mic will be beneficial if I do have guests on. And while we're on the topic of guests, I'm just going to hook them up with lavalier mics. They're not going to have to hold anything, so the lavalier will just clip right to their jacket or their t-shirt, or maybe they're wearing a necklace, something along those lines. Real simple. I don't know, maybe invest $120, $150 into the podcast, and we'll see what kind of return it gets. For those of you that know, I haven't made any money from the podcast. I don't have any kind of a donation thing set up. I also don't have any kind of advertisement set up. And the reason for that is I'm trying to grow. I don't want you guys to feel like a product. I want you guys to feel like you're in control. That's why I encourage you to tweet at me. I love taking your suggestions, and I absolutely love to hear from you guys. I love reviews. I've gotten great reviews, and honestly, when I look and I see a new review, it makes my day. So I'd love if you dropped a review on iTunes, that is. I don't know how to check any other area. If you're listening on Stitcher, I would also love for you to drop a review. I check Stitcher every now and then. I don't have any reviews right now. iTunes seems to be my main platform, which is fine. I mean, that's what I use, and I probably advertise the Spotify and the iTunes the most, and if they say I have neither, then I go to the Google Play. Check me out on Google Play. Or Google Podcasts, I think. I think Google Play is the actual app store. I don't know. I know nothing about it, but yeah, I don't want you guys to feel like you're the product, because when advertisements come in, you're the product. I want to grow. I'm not going to be putting advertisements in until I'm getting a steady 100 per episode kind of a deal. And I have faith that next year is going to be big. Next year we're going to... What are you doing? You didn't use your turn signal? Oh, shit. Now I got caught at a yellow light because this dumbass cut me off. God damn it! Ugh! Now I'm behind. I'm behind a sketch. No, I leave very early for things. We're just headed to the gas station right now. But the podcast has been great. Like I said, 20 listens per. And it's just kind of like, I did this because I love podcasts and I wanted to have something of my own. And it's so easy to create. I encourage you all to start a podcast. Do I have any kind of am I focusing on one topic? Hell no. I talk about whatever I want. Is my fan base growing? Yes, it is. It is growing. And I think it's spectacular. Anyone who takes the time of the day to listen is absolutely spectacular. spectacular and great to me. So thank you guys very much if you are listening to this and made it this far. I appreciate. We're like 70 episodes in. I mean, when I started this podcast, I couldn't imagine 70 episodes. I thought it'd be like, oh, I'm gonna put out 25 episodes in a year maybe. And I feel like the grind is what really gets people. People look forward to it. Even if people are listening to 10 minutes of 2 episodes a week, still means something to me. It's people take time out of their day to listen to my voice, my opinions. Do I have opinions? Yeah, I got some opinions, but are they good opinions? Not always. We're going to take a little intermission here just because we're going into the gas station. And like I said before, I've tried to make this... I've gone into the gas station before while podcasting, and it works half decently. I kind of feel like it could work a little, or I feel like it should be a little better. The mic's been very sensitive. It's been real sensitive. We're gonna cut this car off and get into this parking spot. They got a Jeep. We can cut them off. Jeeps deserve to get cut off. I feel like these people are gonna recognize me as a regular. I'm not even gonna stop. I'm just gonna keep recording. You guys know me. We out here podcasting, and we don't firewood. $6 a bundle. Heck yeah. All right. Thank you. Appreciate it. What a great lady. She held the door for me. Let's see. We got like Cheetos Puffs. They have gummy worms. You know what? The gummy worms sounded really good the other day, but I did not get them. I'm not going to get them today either. We have to get some nuts. We have a bag of nuts, sunflower seed, or pumpkin seeds. Those sound delicious. You know what? The radio is pretty loud in here, but that's okay. Get blackberry lime. That sounds delicious. See, we got smoothies, lemonades, and frappe now available. We're still kind of hungry. I have food. We just need snacks. They have chicken. I mean, chicken's fucking delicious. But I have a sandwich in the car. Oh, I'm sorry. We out of here cutting people off and such. We'll probably get some carrot cake. You know me, hitting up the carrot cake as per usual. Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you doing?
Good.
Good. Any fuel today?
No,
Your rewards card with it?
I do.
Oh, it's gonna be $10.28. Do you want a bag?
Yes, please.
Need a copy of your receipt?
Nope, that's okay.
You're all set?
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll see you next time.
Yep, see you next time. All right, there we are, ladies and gentlemen. I've successfully podcasted inside of this. We got all this shit in our car. Like, just, it's terrible. There's so much crap. This time of the year, out here in Minnesota, we got a whole bunch of stuff on the bottom of my car. Okay, so we're going to do a review of this because, okay, well, first, since we're going to start oh my God, I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, so we have this sandwich. We're going to put this sandwich in here. We're going to take this egg sandwich I got wrapped in tin foil and also put it in here. I feel like I actually don't have enough food for this work adventure, but we're gonna have to deal with it. I got carrot cake. We're gonna do a review of this. It's a Bai Bubbles. For those of you that have listened to the podcast, I used to drink these all the time. I used to also eat something else all the time. What were those? Those were Lara bars. Oh, throwback to like episode like 5 where I was eating Lara bars every episode. Carrot cake. I love this stuff. Carrot cake is 10 out of 10. I will tell you that. Okay, so we're going to do a review of this here beverage. It's called Bubble. This guy's got so much crap on the bottom of his car. I just don't get how it forms. You just get these giant stalactites or stalagmites. I don't know which one it is. You just get them all over the car. Well, how do we go? All right, we're going to review this eventually. But I'd like to get back to the podcast. So, up and coming. I like I said, audio update possible in the future. As well as we're going to have lots of guests. You guys have responded quite a bit to Jake, Dr. Funk. As he was known in the last episode as Preacher Jake because he was preaching the gospel to us. You guys have responded to him, and he absolutely loves coming on here, having a conversation. It's good. We're going to have Katie on, a long-time listener. She's going to be on. My girlfriend's going to be on with Katie, possibly. We got... Remember I told you guys my friend Mitchell was going to be on for a school project. Well, he ended up going a different route with it, but he still wants to come on. He wants to bash some Conor McGregor stans. People out there on Twitter that are riding the McGregor's nuts. I get it. I get it personally. I understand why he'd want to come on here and bash him. We got a heavy audience. You just need to get your thoughts out sometimes. So I think he'll very much enjoy that. As well as we're going to have, I haven't talked to them completely yet, but 2 of my friends, I've known one since high school and I've known one since probably preschool. I've known him since I was a little kid. They decided they are going to hop on the podcasting adventure and start a podcast, which I think is absolutely great. I encourage everyone that wants to start one to start one. We're cracking open the Bubble Lime here. We're going to have ourselves a sip blackberry lime. I really like it. Oh, that first sip is... Oh my God. I didn't think blackberry and lime was a good combo. But oh my goodness, it tastes delicious. I'm more than thrilled with this. This is This is fabulous. This is a delicious beverage. I would highly recommend. Not a sponsor, by the way, just a straight my opinion. Anywho, we're go ahead and so my friend Brandon and Mitch, they're gonna start a podcast called The Den and Friends. We're gonna get them on the podcast, and if you guys like them, it's gonna be free advertisement for them. We're gonna see if they want to go listen. I'm gonna head on over to their podcast and beyond because I think it's a great idea. Just it's hanging out, you know. I hang out with myself in my car, but they're hanging out together making this brand, and I absolutely love it. Love the idea. They have all sorts of good equipment too that they're going to be using. Like I said, I'm going to invest money into this podcast. I think I'm going to get that audio set up, as well as business cards. January, I'm going to order business cards. I think I'm going to order like 1,000 business cards. You can get them fairly cheap. I've already looked into them. And I'm just going to, carry 10 or so around. And if I get in an interesting conversation with someone and they like what they hear, I'll hook them up with a card. You know, the way I see it is, so if I invest $50 into business cards and so let's start off with 1,000. If I hand 1,000 cards out and half of the people check it out, that's 500 listens. Now, if a more realistic thing is maybe, I don't know, 1 in 5 people would check it out. So out of 1,000, I'll get 200 downloads. All it takes is that one person out of those 200 that actually check it out to have some kind of a social media following say, hey, this podcast is great. And it could potentially, I have potential to make this podcast the biggest thing to ever happen to this world. No, I don't want to get big. I don't think I'm going to get big. I was telling a guy at work this the other day. The goal with the podcast is to have fun. The ultimate goal is to have fun and maybe drive a little quicker, you dumbass. Holy shit. You think the speed limit's like, what are you doing? Oh, you're on your phone, huh? You and your permy hair, you're on the phone. Don't do that. Get off the... Now we're in the fast lane. I hate being in the fast lane because I feel like I'm just a target for the cops. I'm going relatively close to the speed limit, but I'm not going the speed limit at all. It's not good to admit when you're breaking the law. I'm not breaking the law. I'm passing people. We're going to jump in, move over a lane here, and we're going to see if... I feel like I'm holding the guy up behind me, which just so happens to have a mound. All right, perfect. We're cutting over right here. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. No, this guy's driving slow. I don't get. Anyway, like I said, the podcast, I don't want it to blow up. I think I'd be afraid of being like I think 100 listeners is good. I think 100 listeners would be fantastic. If it gets to the point where I'm getting like tens of thousands of listens, that's where it gets scary. Because that's when you get people who don't like your shit. That's when you get people who are like, I don't get how 10,000 people can listen to this. It's shitty. This is crap. I don't know. This is terrible. You're the average Joe. You also suck. That's why you're the average Joe. No one likes you. Stuff like that, man. Stuff like that. It just, I kind of feel like that's the kind of people that come out when you're getting a lot of listen. Right now, it's kind of low key. People aren't bashing on me yet. I have thick skin. I can take it, but I don't like. I would prefer to stay small, have a nice little community. Nah, fuck it. We're gonna blow up one day. But yeah, like I said, just gonna put in some dollars into the podcast, I think, for the upcoming year. Because if I can go a year of actually going through with the podcast, I think it's a good sign that it's something I'm going to stick with. So maybe setting aside $250 or $300 that I'm going to put into the podcast over the next year, I think I'll be getting a good return in that. You know, it's kind of an investment for now. The podcast is ultimately a long-term project. It's not, you're on your phone. Why are you on your phone in the, I don't get it. People be sitting there on their phone in the fast lane staring at their Facebooks. This Blackberry Lime, very good. But yeah, I think an investment now, and I think I'll get the return in the long term. I think that's the big thing. People don't understand that when you're starting content creation, if you don't have a following, if you're not producing top quality stuff like me, I don't think I'm producing top quality stuff, but I'm producing. That's the important part. I'm producing. Someone out there's got to like it. Someone's got to like my personality. I think I got a pretty neat personality, personally. Wow, that was quite the sentence. A little cocky, but I like the sentence. But yeah, ultimately, I think that is the thing I need to do. Just invest a little. Audio equipment, business cards, and work on advertising. Because right now, so I'm posting twice a week I'm posting podcasts twice a week. Maybe what I'll have to do is add a day in there. So every Monday I post. Every Wednesday, maybe I post a preview on Twitter. Some form of advertisement. I'm going to stick with my current Twitter account, though. I'm not going to create a separate one just for the podcast. I might rebrand a little bit. Maybe I'll have to, add. Oh, we got the cops up here. Let's see what we got going. I imagine everyone's moving over. Is it a crash? Nope. You just getting pulled over, buddy. Let me see. What'd you do? He's an old guy. I imagine he was driving fast. This is a slow part of the road. You gotta go a little slower. I imagine he was going pretty fast. But yeah, as far as the podcast goes, I think, like I said, now I'm just repeating myself, and I feel like it's going to get very repetitive. You guys listen. You guys know the plan. I'm going to follow through. I'm going to read I'm going to have an episode, probably episode 100. I'm going to go out and I'm going to read every single one of the reviews that have been left on iTunes and Stitcher. So if you'd like to be part of that, I encourage you to go leave a review. Go leave me some stars. 4 stars. This is a 4-star. I keep repeating myself. So 4 stars we're going with. Silence is not consent. That's what this person's bumper sticker says. Get the message out. Silence does not equal consent. Anywho, we're going to end the podcast there. I just want to give you guys a little update on what's going. We're going to have lots of guests, like I said. Katie, Emma, Mitchell, Brandon, Mitchell. 2 Mitches. Maybe we'll get Nick on here. Nick, one of my long-term friends. Maybe we'll get him on here. We're just going to get people out here. We're going to have more guests. And it's fun. Oh, and Jake. Jake loves being on the podcast. So thank you guys very much for tuning in. What is that guy doing? Okay. I don't know what he's doing, but he was on the side of the road. Thank you guys very much for tuning in. My name is Road Rage Randy. You can follow me on Twitter at Thoughts by Randy. You can head over to Reddit r/driving with Randy. Go leave a review on iTunes and Stitcher. Pick up your fucking trash, too. Don't throw it on the highway, because I just ran over a water bottle, and I can't stand when people litter. Don't litter. Peace.